Hi, I'm Corey. After following countless tutorials and learning game development by repeatedly slamming my head against a brick wall, I made this little turd of a game for my friends. It was rough around the edges, buggy, and way more fun to laugh at than it was to play, and now somehow I'm the game designer here at Gatorbite Games. Now that might sound like I know what I'm doing, but really this is still just the beginning for me. It's been an exhilarating mix of learning new skills and realizing how much I still don't know. The game we're working on, Zima, is starting to come together, and I couldn't be more excited to share the process with you. So make sure you subscribe and follow along so that you can see the progress we make in the future. Today, we're mainly going to focus on the character that we've created to be the protagonist of our game. This is Zema, a quiet yet fierce member of the Temple Wardens, an ancient order founded to protect and preserve the sacred grotto located beneath your home. We'll learn more about the Temple Wardens and the sacred grotto in a future video. First, let's talk about the name itself, Zima. No, not the refreshing citrus beverage discontinued in 2008 in the US, RIP Zima. But any Bosnian speakers may recognize Zima as the Bosnian word for winter. The game's programmer, Kamal, is a native Bosnian, and from the start we wanted the game themed around winter and thought it sounded like a great title for a game, and it kinda just stuck. But here's the twist. As we fleshed out the game's story, it became clear that the narrative wasn't just about surviving an unnatural winter, it was really about the protagonist, her journey, her struggles, and her past. The more we developed Zema as a character, the more I realized her name deserved to be front and center. So we made the call to name the protagonist Zema and title the game after her. It just felt right. Now, really uncovering her backstory and learning about where she came from is a part of the game experience, so I don't want to spoil too many story details. You'll have to find those out for yourself in-game. Obviously, she didn't start out like this, she started more like this. We've definitely come a long way, I think. Over time, we worked to refine the overall aesthetic and design of the character. After a while, we ended up here. We all really liked this version, but we ran into some issues with the size of the character in game. Our artist proposed lowering the height and overall detail of the character, as you can see here.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
But why would we take detail away from our main character? The player will spend the entire game with it on their screens, so we should ensure it looks really good, right? By simplifying the design and lowering the detail, the character is more recognizable at any scale. Think of iconic characters like Mario, Link, or Mega Man. Their designs stand the test of time because they're simple, memorable, and adaptable. Complex designs often look amazing in static close-ups or at idle, but they can be extremely difficult to animate and become a visual mess if scaled down. The less visually cluttered the character is, the easier it is to create fluid and expressive movements. Simpler designs also greatly speed up the development process, allowing us to iterate faster, something that I think is extremely important in game design. A great example of a character design with these things in mind is the player character in Hyper Light Drifter, developed by Heart Machine. The blue skin tone, magenta scarf, and simple cloak define the character's unique and bold features, standing out against the game's vibrant environments. They don't overload the player with detail, focusing instead on a streamlined, clean look. In a game with a very defining pixel art aesthetic, the Drifter design works because it balances detail with readability. The limited detail translates well in the game's fast-paced combat, maintaining clarity in chaotic scenes. Another crucial detail is the lack of facial detail forces the character's personality to come through in his animations and actions. His slow, deliberate movements when sick, the fluidity of his sword strikes, and the way he collapses when overwhelmed all evoke emotion without needing overly detailed features or any facial expressions. And of course, the funny bug spotlight. Well, this first one isn't really a bug, but the throwing animation looks like a really bad dance move, and I felt like it belonged here. And then we have our poor little friend here. Who knows? Maybe he's enjoying it. So now for the part of the video where we talk about what's next. So now that we have the main character mostly done, next up we'll be moving on to the first temple. The temples are going to be where a majority of the gameplay will be spent, so we're really trying to come up with something fun and interesting. In order to do that, I need to design another enemy, the boss mechanics, the props, the secret rooms, the traps, the interactables, the resources, and the overall layout and placement of the enemies, plus a million other little things. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you choose to subscribe and follow along with our journey making Zema. As always, if you have any suggestions or feedback, please let us know in the comments.